story. I started out life as a PhD social scientist and did qualitative research, which actually turns out was the best training I could have to be a revenue leader. So I had that wired in my brain, went from being a social scientist and academic to a series of revenue leadership roles. And it was at that point I recognized there was a method to how I was doing things the way I just described it. And then said, hey, I can go do this for others, right, as a consultant. Started just over 5 years ago in kind of more an embedded role. We would take on kind of leadership roles as an extended part of the leadership team, and then eventually moved to consulting, where we now help people build playbooks that are around, kind of defining how do we drive value for our buyers? What are the goals we can help them achieve? What are the business goals, or what questions would we ask about what's keeping them from the goals, right? Current state, ideal state, that we can help solve, move them quicker to some kind of win or payoff. So we build those playbooks, and then now we put them into your prospecting. How do you get more conversations with new potential buyers? We put it into your sales execution, first call, stakeholder call, proposal call, and we also put it into your land and expand motion. So how do we deepen accounts by always resetting on value? Our business success has come around two main principles. It's one, helping companies shift from thinking about their product to thinking about their buyer-defined value, and then helping teams consistently execute on that, right? It's one thing to write the playbooks, write the right talk tracks, write the right messaging, but if only one of your 6 team members are executing, or there's a wide variation, you're not going to get the performance lift. So for us, it's about building the value positioning strategy, building the playbooks at every phase, and then supporting through either direct in-deal coaching, in prospecting, in your prospecting workflow coaching, or, and with bigger organizations, the enterprise is working with the managers on how they build consistent reinforcement around the playbook. At this point, grown to a team of, it's 8 FTE. There's a number of contractors we have in place, a handful of full-timers, a bunch of contractors. We work across, probably 4 or 5 segments. Higher ed is a big segment for us, or education generally. We do a lot of human capital stuff, HR, sales, because that's a market very much in transition. How do we retain the top talent? How do we train the top talent? We do a lot of work on marketing communication platforms, kind of end consumer engagement in the retail sector. And then we do a good amount of work on kind of business operations and processes, more around digital transformation.
Tell us a little bit about something you want to execute within the next 12 to 18 months.
We have 2 very clear projects for us. We do have an MVP software product, so we want to move from being a service to a tech-enabled service. So right now we build those playbooks, and then they're Google Docs or they're on your Microsoft shared drive, and we bring them into coaching interactions or reinforcement interactions. Moving forward, we're going to put them in a workflow that's really an extension of your email. It's an email add-on. Moving to a tech-enabled service, key priority. We also have a book project, just kind of writing this all up into a book. We've started with a series of insights, bi-weekly insight posts with the kind of concepts that have worked for us and our clients, putting that into a book and building out kind of a demand gen approach with SEO and content to, just increase our market presence and build some inbound traffic as well as just the outbound work for prospects. So those are our 2 big initiatives for the back half of the year that I'm sure will continue into next year.
That's exciting. So to wrap it up, is there anything you wanted to add about anything with the company or experience with GrowthLab?
GrowthLab have been great partners for us, for sure. I mean, just helping with the accounting and the cash flow, but in the PPP thing, we're always ahead of the game, ahead of my bank, ahead of what I was getting from, other folks. So that's been That's been a huge asset. It's been a good working relationship. I think I would end with just the thought for, all revenue leaders or just sales folks. We have a tagline that says, learn quicker, grow faster. And every market we're in now is very disrupted, right? There's so much information coming at people. And so just the commitment that we can all take our game to the next level, right? There's always 1, 2, 3 things we can improve. And just committing to being kind of a learner about your market continually, it's a mental shift, that growth mindset, but worth the shift, right? It ends up, once you've made that shift, it's much more exciting to think, okay, I'm going to engage differently next week, next month, next year. I'm going to engage my market differently because it's better for them and it's better for me.